I'm going to do a speech on school shootings. First off, I'm going to start off with some basic statistics. According to an article in newsmic.com, in the beginning of 2014, just 14 days into the school year, 7 school shootings happened. One of those 7 shootings, 9 people were shot and 1 killed. In addition, I read another article on Think Progress that pointed out that there were only 28 shootings in all of 2013. So they pretty much in the beginning of this year, there was a school shooting every other day. And that's about a fourth of what happened in 2014 alone. That being said, we can conclude that the school violence is increasing quickly. What a way to start off the school year. The part that I didn't like about it was 2 of those schools were elementary school shootings, and I feel like kids are very innocent. They don't have the right to violence or to even defend themselves at that matter. So basically today I want to discuss with you how unsafe schools are becoming for our children because of the mass amounts of school shootings that is going on in the schools. In order to control the safety of our kids in schools, we must first see the problems, discuss causes, and offer some solutions to get it under control. School shootings are not anything new. They started out, I think the first reported one was in the 1760s. So it's always been around, but the issue is not that they've historically been there, it's that it's increasing phenomenally. Like I mentioned early, in the beginning of 2014, there has been a significant increase from 2013. According to CNN, the deadliest school shooting happened on April 16, 2007, killing 32 people plus himself. He did that at 2 locations. So the fact that the shooter was even allowed to leave the school and go to another location just shows a lack of security. In 2012, the second deadliest school shooting was in Newton, Connecticut, killing 27 people plus himself. The part that was most terrifying to me was out of those 20 students, out of all 28 students, 20 of them were the ages of 6 to 7. Again, they can't defend themselves. Out of the 25 deadliest school shootings in history, 10 of those have been in the 21st century. So in the last 14 years, 40% of the school shootings have happened. And that's on a massive scale and a small scale. So I feel like it's a huge problem because we can't even keep our own children innocent in schools. Now I'm going to mention some possible causes that have been studied over the last several years. According to an article in Science Fiction America, school shootings are premeditated, choreographed down to the weapons used in the clothes worn. So most of the time these kids plan it. And they'll put post on Facebook, Twitter, all these social media websites, and so a lot of times they can be stopped before they're even started. I think that we're just now starting to catch up with that and kind of get it under control a little more. Alfred University did a study of adolescents to see why they thought school shootings happen. And most of the students that were interviewed about this, out of all of them, about 50% of them thought it was not mentally illness related. They didn't think it was mental illness or any of that stuff. Or drugs, they didn't think that. They thought that it was because they were getting back for being bullied, or they were getting back for a poor lifestyle. Out of the kids that were studied that I thought was cool is the kids that had a really good lifestyle, really couldn't answer the questions. They didn't really know how to answer those questions, so they just kind of guessed. And the kids that had a worse lifestyle were the ones that could understand the point of view of the kids that are doing those things. And so they were saying that mainly it's probably kids that make bad grades, people, obviously that have a worse lifestyle are prone to violence growing up. The studies did not show a trend in violent video games and TV. So they ruled that out pretty much. It was mainly the bullying that they saw going on. But according to blog writer Vicky Bluth, who is on that website, said the idea was to nurture a child in every way and do absolutely nothing that would make them feel deprived or lower self-esteem. What she meant by that comment was that is the way that we're making our kids now. We're just kind of pampering them. We can't spank them anymore. We can't do any kind of corporal punishment anymore because society shuns upon that. I've I know me personally that I don't like to spank my child because I'm scared I'm gonna get CPS called on me. It's like there's no corporal punishment. And what's one of her viewpoints on that was a lot of kids are just getting rewarded. So we have child A and we have child B. Child A does like excellent work on a project. Child B does halfway, and they both get rewarded for it. So she pointed out that kids, why would child A do any of the work, because she didn't even get like recommended for it. She just got the same grade or the same thing as child B. So in her eyes, she thinks the reason why the system is failing is because if a child gets a prize for doing well, then basically the other child, it's just not good for them. So she's basically saying a child's mind is conditioned just like an adult. And we have made it to where they need to learn to be rewarded for good behavior, not bad behavior. So a lot of times children are just kind of getting by with things. That was just a study I saw on it. It's not like it's 100% the parent's fault. Also, children are more often in getting timeouts instead of harsher punishments. So, teen rebellion is more dangerous than ever because they are being catered to. That's what they're saying on that. This is because society has tabooed corporate punishment and set laws against it. The change in parent style has gone back to the 80s when the amount of abuse started to increase. So that's why they're putting 2 and 2 together. There is no true discipline on these kids anymore. They get iPods, cell phones, Facebooks, and all this stuff, and they get kind of lost in it. So if they are getting bullied, they're probably getting bullied 24/7. They're getting bullied on social networks. They're getting bullied on YouTube. Kids are sending naked pictures of other kids, and that's just horrible. We just can't fully blame the parents, though. Another way we could blame this epidemic, I feel like, is on the government, because they allow media to just kind of make a big hoo-ha out of it, and the media just uses it for rankings. They don't really come up with a solution, nor when they show a massive school shooting, they don't show the statistics I just said. I feel like if they would show the statistics, people would see the bigger picture, because people don't think about how much of this really goes on. I feel like they should focus on a real issue and real solutions. And the government should also kind of teach people a little more about it. Regardless, the kids still get the guns somewhere. Okay. But according to CNN, a good solution to school shootings would be to strengthen the gun laws. But they also contradict themselves by saying that they shouldn't do it, so I went away from that source. I think the most rational decision would have higher security in schools. It is expensive and irrational, but it would help in the long run to have security. They should also carry clear backpacks, I feel like, so they can't hide weapons and drugs in their backpacks. But violence in movies and TVs, I feel like, should be minimized, even though I didn't see a correlation to it. And I feel like the media should quit focusing so much on it. Like, they should mention it and move on with their lives, and then kind of point people in a direction of changing it. Kids are not old enough to buy guns, so parents should hide them in safer places. I feel like kids aren't old enough to buy them. There's no reason how they should be getting them. Basically, that school shootings are a major threat to our children in the United States. I believe that if we do not come together as a country to resolve this problem, then we will just make our society worse. Kids are not supposed to be exposed to this kind of violence. The causes are really hard to pinpoint, but seem to be related to bullying and easy access to guns. They should be punished more and babied less. If a kid is getting bullied in school, I feel like the parents should pay close attention to it, as well as the school system, and do something more about it instead of letting it happen. Other than that, that's it. Do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So did any of the studies you researched, did they address like how it changes the incidence of school shootings if the children were taught gun safety and like proper use of guns from a young age?
I didn't look at that. All I did was just look at, when I was looking at causes, it didn't say anything like that. It just it was basically trying to blame it on the parents, and then it was also blaming it on getting bullied.
It's society, and
Society.
just like with the CPS, you've got to be careful, and the kids know how to work that system. And I think it's just a conglomeration of everything. It's a vicious circle. And, you know,
I think so too. I think that if kids had harsher punishments growing up, maybe, because I know that my parents wouldn't go around acting like that. My mom got whooped. So I feel like it's true. I mean, and I know a lot of people to this day who say, I would have never done that. My parents would have killed me. So even back then, I got a spanking in school, and they took that out. So
Would you recommend them take out toy guns and squirt guns and all those guns that kids play with?
I don't know about that one. I feel like it could be. I don't know.
You don't think they should take them out of stores for kids?
Out of stores? I don't think so.
No.
No, I think kids. That's why I don't think that they can find a correlation between violence on TV and stuff, because violence on TV's always been there, but the phenomenon's getting bigger, and I don't think it's TV's fault. I think they don't know how to deal with society, these kids. That's my opinion.